Hello and welcome. The topic for this editorial of 29th August with Hindu is conventional dissonance. What is conventional dissonance? Let us go ahead with some of the words that have been used in the passage. First, the first word is the topic itself, conventional dissonance. It means lack of age old harmony among people. Uh, Something that was in convention, that was in practice, and the loss of harmony to that practice is mentioned over here. It virtually relates in the passage related to the treatment with minorities by the Trump government, and this brings disharmony. Denouement, the final part of a play, the final leg of an event. This is denouement. Then ideological moorings. What is moorings? Moorings refer to psychological stability. So, the ideology for psychological stability is being referred as ideological moorings. Dug his heels. Well, this refers to refuse to change plans, to keep adamant with the plans. Impeachment, sorry, impeachment is the process of putting charges on somebody by the legislatives, by the MPs, MLAs, things like that. This is impeachment. It is done in the parliament. Conjured up, evoked. To evoke is to conjure. Blue collar workers are the middle class workers. Allusion refers to indirect reference. Vicious attack is a cruel attack. Now, with these word and meanings, we shall be facing or countering in the passage. Let us go with the topic, the conventional disharmony. Trump is deliberately alienating minorities of all hues in his re-election bid. So it refers to the disharmony with the minorities. Trump is willfully, deliberately refers to willfully putting out minorities of all types, of all hues, all types in his re-election bid. See, Trump is looking to be re-elected as president. He's already president over there in US. Now he's looking to be re-elected. So, and for that he is alienating minorities. There are few events in US election politics that offer a more predictable denouement than the national conventions of the two major parties, given that the presidential and vice presidential tickets for both are known beforehand. Well, it is an opening sentence and gives the major indication for the facts to which this passage is likely to target. What it says that there are some events in US elections that makes predictable denouement, final part of the play, that gives almost a clear picture of what is likely to happen in the final part of elections. It says that the national conventions are there, no doubt, of the two major parties contesting elections and declaring the tickets, the candidates for president and vice president, both of them. both major parties announce their candidates for president and vice president. Now, the what is predictable? The predictable thing is that the next person president gets known before election. In India, we don't know who is likely to be the prime minister if a party wins the election. We generally assume that this head will likely to be the prime minister, but we cannot say with certainty and surety. Here in US, the declaration for presidential candidate and vice presidential candidates are known before election. So this is a predictable thing. Even this low bar of dull certainty was scarcely surpassed by Republican Party as it reaffirmed its faith in president who has shredded his ideological moorings and dug his heels in defending the record of his first term in the office, including an impeachment on allegations of abuse of power and obstructing justice. Well, this is a large sentence and covers a lot many facts. It says that though the fact that the candidates for the post of president and candidate for the post of vice president is declared beforehand, the Republican Party was just not able to surpass their dull choice. What was their dull choice? Low bar of dull certainty. What was the low bar of dull certainty? What was dull? What selection was dull by the Republican Party? It affirmed its faith in a president who has shredded his ideological moorings and dug his heels in defending the record of his first term in office. It says that the dull thing is that the party has reaffirmed its faith in a person. The person is Trump, who has shredded its ideological moorings, psychological stability, the actions related to psychological stability. The Trump has shredded, has cut down, has destroyed its ideological moorings, its psychological stability, and dug his heels and is not ready to change his plans in defending the record of his first term in the office. His records in the first term in his office had some poor remarks. Those remarks included impeachment on allegations of abuse of power and obstructing. He was alleged by the legislatives and allegations referred to abuse of power and obstruction to justice. This much of allegation is being carried by Mr. Trump, and still who has been reaffirmed for the post of president by Republican Party. This is how the meaning goes out with this sentence. The convention culminated with Mr. Trump's address, in which he appeared to fall back upon same lines of political attack that he employed against former Democratic rival Hillary Clinton in 2016 election, only this time against Democratic nominee and former Vice President Joe Biden. Well, it says that the convention terminated or finished with the speech of Mr. Trump. Trump's address refers to speech over here. This address has a different meaning and it refers to what Mr. Trump said in the convention, in which he appeared, in which he emphasized his adamancy to do the same as he do the same with Joe as he did with Hillary Clinton in 2016 elections. This is what the simple meaning goes out to be. So, Mr. Trump he, showed his adamancy for the same treatment to Mr. Joe Biden as what was done with Hillary Clinton in 2016 elections. In doing so, Mr. Trump conjured up once again the specters of socialism and globalization that threaten to creep upon the US economy should Mr. Biden prevail into 2020 election, warning that the latter was destroyer of America's jobs who took the donations of blue collar workers but voted to ship their jobs to China and many other distant lands. Well, this again is a big sentence. Well, whenever you encounter these big sentences, you can split it. In doing so refers to the previous sentence. What doing so? In handling Joe Biden. The previous text refers to how Mr. Trump in his address spoke about handling Joe Biden, and in that he said that he will be having the same strategy as he did with Hillary Clinton in 2016 elections. So in handling Joe Biden, Mr. Trump conjured up once again the specters of socialism and globalization that threaten to creep upon the US economy. The range of socialism and globalization, the things associated with socialism and globalization. Socialism refers to mingling with so many types of religions and societies, and globalization refers to putting businesses on a global scale. Now, Mr. Trump evoked that these two things, socialism and globalization, threatens US economy, and if it says that should Mr. Biden prevail, if Mr. Biden comes in 2020 elections. So it says that if Mr. Biden comes in 2020 elections, the socialism and he will socialism and globalization, and that will threaten US economy. Warning, and he further warned that the latter was, what was latter? The globalization. See, well, this has to be understood. There is a there are two words, former and latter. These two words have specific meanings. The meanings that you know, the former pahle wala, latter baad wala. But this is not the actual sense with which it is used. It virtually, this word latter, suppose the word latter is to be taken, this word refers to the second of the two. This refers to second of the two. What does it mean? Second of the two. Which belong to the two? So if we go back into the text, we find that socialism and globalization are two words mentioned over here in the previous text. So second of the two is globalization. So it says that, warning that the globalization was the destroyer of America's jobs. How will it destroy America's jobs? It says that businesses shifting to other countries or opening branches in other countries will deprive Americans from the jobs which would have been possible if the branches were opened in America itself. So globalization becomes destroyer of America's jobs, who took the donations of blue collar workers It says that who refers to who again uh, who refers to Mr. Biden. Mr. Biden, who took the donations of blue collar workers. Mr. Biden took the donations of blue collar workers, voted to ship their jobs to China and many other distant lands. He said that Mr. Biden took donations and opened business branches, allowed opening of branches by businesses in China and distant lands. So if the branches are opened in distant areas or China, the job will also go there. And the people of China or distant lands will get employed rather than Americans. So this is the point Mr. Trump is indicating over here. He blatantly is speaking that if Mr. Biden comes in, he will destroy America's jobs. The globalization, if he will promote globalization as he is speaking in his speeches, in his commitments, and that will destroy the job opportunity for Americans. It is unlikely that many among the party faithful who thronged to convention questioned his basic premise regarding the danger posed by Democratic Party to the economy, that there are jobs aplenty and pandemic is a thing of past. So the convention, the members of his party, the faithful members of his party, they they could not question in the convention regarding danger posed by Democratic Party. What was the danger posed by Democratic Party? The danger was that what Democratic Party says is that jobs are aplenty and pandemic is a thing of past. It is not that. So nothing could undermine that assertion more than the fact that unemployment rates are still high and that during the time of convention more than 3,600 people succumbed to COVID-19 in the US. So it is a fact, no matter what you say against these two things, the unemployment and the infections, COVID-19 infections, the fact remains a fact. And the fact is that unemployment rates are still high in US, and the people getting infected and succumbing to it, dying over it, dying due to COVID-19, the deaths due to COVID-19, it is counting 3,600 during the time of convention itself. So these are important points to be marked over here in the passage. So the first paragraph describes what are the strategies of Mr. Trump against Joe Biden. As disturbing as the false claims made about economy and pandemic were, more deleterious for the future of US societal harmony was the strident note that the president struck regarding racial tensions that have flared up across the country following several deaths of unarmed African Americans at the hands of armed police. This was one thing. The second thing Trump emphasized, other than speaking about the claims related to economy and pandemic by the Republicans, he pointed out to the deleterious, to the pathetic condition for the future of U.S. societal harmony in the society, which is facing trouble, which is getting trouble due to racial tensions. This is what Mr. Trump has emphasized, that have flared up, the tensions flared up across the country, all over the country, following several deaths of unarmed African Americans at the hands of armed police. So this is what is being emphasized, leaving little doubt as to which side of line he stood on. Mr. Trump said he condemns the rioting, looting, arson, and violence we have seen in Democrat run cities like Kenosha, Minneapolis, Portland, Chicago, and New York. So, Mr. Trump openly alleges Biden that the Democrat run cities like Kenosha, Minneapolis, Portland, Chicago, and New York are having lots of deaths uh, and troubles due to rioting, looting, arson, violence related to the growing tensions and due to the growing tensions, racial tensions in that area. So, Mr. Trump is pointing to the drawbacks of Joe Biden. Little wonder that police brutality of the kind that was inflicted upon Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, has continued to foment anger in the streets of that city, and that Mr. Trump's regular allusions to mob rule by thugs associated with the Democratic Party is likely costing him what little support he might enjoy with the minorities of all hues. So, this is what Mr. Trump is putting to his as a kind of explanation that he is not alienating minorities. The minorities are being driven away due to the mob rule and the thugs of Democrat who uh, who who bring about this kind of incidents that provoke racism and things like that. So this is a kind of explanation, and he is successful in proving those allegations, although he is not directly naming the persons heading mob rule and heading those thugs. So this is what he says. When November 3 rolls around, it might take Team Trump more than a vicious attack on mail-in voting to prevent this broad sense of anger in multicultural America from drowning out its political ambitions for a second term. So, sorry, after November 3, Team Trump might take severe attacks on mail-in voting. The votings done through mails. Voting by mail is allowed in US, and those who are away, but if they are voters, they can mail in their vote, and he is likely to attack on those votes to prevent this broad sense of anger in multicultural America. America is a multicultural nation, so he is going to take care of these things, which he is emphasizing in his vendetta for his ambition to come back for a second term. So with this, I close and thank you, and request you to like and subscribe this channel. Thank you.